Today we're going to talk about the power of a spider web. But before we talk about that, if you have learned anything from my videos, could you do me a favor? Go down and hit the subscribe and the like button for me, please. Thank you. There's an old African proverb that says, when spiders unite, they could tie up a lion. When spiders unite, they could tie up a lion. You look at a spider web, and the complexity of a spider web is so unique. As you have all of those geodots, those little dots that connects each one of them, and it's so unique how a spider could build it with such symmetry. Everything seems to be exactly where it needs to be. Did you know that the strength of the strands of a spider web is stronger than that of steel? The tensile strength of the strands of a spider web is stronger than that of steel. So today we're going to talk about the power of a spider web. It's so important in life to make connections. We cannot succeed by ourselves. In order to succeed, you have to annex in and invite others to join you. You have to annex in and invite others to be part of what you're doing. You have to invite others to be a part of the group. The greater the connections, the more people you connect with, the wider the scope of your reach, the greater your success will be. So how do you deal with that? How do you grow that? How do you look at the spider web and utilize the spider web to cause everyone to unite so then you could tie up the lions of life? That's what we're going to be talking about today. The first thing we're going to talk about is mastering the art of communication. So number one, mastering the art of communication. I have a pet key that I always go by. It's a rule. I should be able to speak on anything for 5 minutes. No matter who I am with, I should be able to speak about the topic or speak about what they major in or what their occupation is for 5 minutes. When you're able to do that, then the conversations become more about others instead about you. The conversations become empowering instead of you tooting your own horn. And I try to always make sure that I master that art in that I'm able to speak about any given topic for at least 5 minutes so then I can enhance my communication skills. Also, another thing that I do in mastering the art of communication is make sure that my words are full of love. Make sure that my words are genuine. Make sure that my words are saturated with knowledge and understanding and true love so that when you hear them or when the other person hears them, it resonates with them. You always want someone to leave your presence and say, I learned something. I was blessed. It was wonderful to talk to him or her. It was wonderful to be in their presence because I felt like I got something deposited within me. I felt like I'm growing. I felt like it was a highlight of my day. That's what you want people to gather from your communications. When you master the art of communication, you have to make sure that you're a reader. You read a lot. You see, instead of wasting time and sitting down, you make sure you become a lifelong learner. You make sure as you read, you're learning. And as you're growing, you're implementing what you're learning. And as you implement what you're learning, it helps you to be an effective communicator. Another thing with being an effective communicator is practice the art of talking about people and goals and aspirations. Talk about things. Don't go around talking or gossiping about other people. You see, when you sit around and you gossip about other people, it creates toxicity to your communication. And that toxicity to your communication is played out in every other avenue of your life. And you don't want that. You don't want to talk about other people. Talk about ideas. Talk about what you've learned. Talk about something great that you've learned. Talk about something revolutionary in the set occupation of the person. Talk about something new and something that will add value. Always add value to others. Never tear anybody down when they're not around to defend themselves. And even when they're around to defend themselves, you don't tear anybody down. You always build others up. And as you build them up, then you master the art of communication. You could go back and look at my video on Solomon's Art of Communication, and that was an awesome video there to teach you about communication. Another thing in number 2 is surrounding yourself with quality people. You want to always surround yourself with quality people. When I say quality people, I mean people who build you up. Iron sharpens iron. You don't want to be around gossipers. You don't want to be around people always picking things apart. You don't want to be around people who don't read, don't grow, don't do nothing, because they won't have anything to contribute. The conversations will become very toxic. But when you're around people who are quality people, the iron sharpens iron. You sharpen one another. You grow from one another. You learn from one another. You advance, you move forward. They're always pushing you forward. And as they're always pushing you forward, you aspire, you'll go up for greatness. And they too go up to greatness. You'll find when you surround yourself with quality people, they're not tied up in themselves. They don't have issues, daddy issues or mama issues, or issues in which they sit around and they woe is me. So they have to tear down anybody else. They're comfortable in their own skin. And because they're comfortable in their own skin, and they've learned to love themselves, they themselves can love others. And as a result, the advice that they give you will be wholesome. The advice that they give you will be life-giving. The advice that they give you will foster love, will foster harmony. And the advice that they give you will always honor others. It will always honor others, because the bedrock of them will be honor, love, grace, moving in the fruits of the Spirit. According to the good book, you see, that's how you truly know someone is moving in the right spirit, because they move in the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, kindness, grace, long-suffering. You see, peace, faithfulness. You see, all of those temperaments become their temperaments. And those are the type of people that you want to surround yourself with. The third point, you want to practice an environment of love. Always practice being part of an environment of love. An environment where you love others. An environment where you care about others. An environment where you build others up. An environment where you want to deposit into others and others want to deposit into you. A lot of times in society, we have people who always take us. They want to take. They don't want to give. Nothing in life comes free. Nothing in life is free. It doesn't matter what you get for free. Somebody has to pay for it. Somebody along the line has to pay for it. Somebody has to donate the funds for it or donate the resources for it. There's nothing in life for free. So you see, as you learn to foster and move and practice an environment of love, you love one another and you respect one another. And as you love one another and respect one another, you're able to listen to one another. You're able to encourage one another. You see, love is so unique, because when you love yourself and you love others, then people could genuinely see that you care for them and you add value to them. When you add value to others, you cause your network to increase. And as your network increases, you're building that spider web. And as you build that spider web, people will know you as a quality person. People will know your virtues that you foster, and the virtues that you emanate, and the virtues that you celebrate, and the virtues that you encourage. And because of those virtues that you encourage, they want to run, come and join. And they themselves will emulate those same virtues. And as they emulate those same virtues, then you are creating a network in which people are moving in integrity and people are moving in love. You see, a spider web is not only something when you're walking through the woods and all of a sudden something sticks to your face and you're like pulling it apart and you're like, that thing is all sticking all over me. You see, there are the key fundamental principles that you could learn from it. You see, when a spider creates a web and it sits, the web, it sits and it rests. And as it rests, that web all of a sudden start catching other insects and starts catching its meals. And as it catches its meals, it sticks in there. And then it's able to go and get them and set them aside so you could eat them later. And that's what happens when you understand the power of a spider web. When you understand the power of connections, those connections, when you understand the power of connection, it causes whatever you're doing to grow. And as it causes it to grow, you're able to set things aside. You're able to store things. You're able to do like the ant in the book of Proverbs, You're able to store things away in the times of harvest or in the times of good times, so that when slow times comes, then you have something. And the only way you could do that is through the process of multiplication. You see, things multiply when you connect more. The more you help others, the more you will be helped. You know, Zig Ziglar had it right when he said, if you help as many people get what they want, you'll always get what you want. And that's all the key fundamental. But when you go out with fundamental fact, but when you go out there, you want to learn. You want to be a student. You want to be somebody that's willing to learn. Don't be stubborn. Be somebody that's willing to be shaped, somebody that's willing to be molded, and somebody that's willing to go out there and deposit in others. Somebody that's willing to go out there and realize whatever is in the well will come up in the bucket, and make sure that there's something wholesome in your well so it comes up in the bucket, so that as it blesses others, it's truly a blessing. Remember, you're blessed to be a blessing. We all are. And as we utilize the skills and the gifts that we're given, we need to be a blessing. In this troubled and trying world that we're in, the world needs hope. And the only way that hope could be radiated, it has to be radiated from the inside out. So go out there and learn the power of a spider web. And don't forget, if you're learning something from these videos, go down and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Do me a favor, please, and do that. And I thank you and have a wonderful day. And God bless you. Bye.